For lesson 4, we're going to look at circumference. The first part, we're going to review some parts of a circle. So if you look at the red circle here on the screen, then you can see that the top part is called the chord, and it, as it says, it's a line segment connecting 2 points on a curve. So that's the distance across here. The second definition here is the diameter, and so it's the distance across the circle through the center. And then the radius is the distance from the center to the edge. So this first part we're looking at is naming them. So name a radius. Well, on this particular one, we can see it is in between those two letters. We usually put them alphabetically. And then the reason there's a bar over those letters is because that represents a line segment. Line segment is starting at point F and ending at point B. The diameter marked on this circle goes from point A to point C. Again, a line segment symbol above it. And then the chord goes from point D to point E, with the line segment symbol above it. Underneath, I'm reading, if line segment AC, which is the diameter here, is 10 centimeters, then BF, or the radius, is, so the radius would be half of 10, which would be 5. And remember, using your calculator, if it's problems that you can't do mental math, taking half of something, remember you can divide by 2. Another example, if the diameter had been 22 centimeters, what would the radius be? It would be half of that, which is 11. If you don't have a calculator, go ahead and grab one for this next part. Okay, the definition at the top here for circumference means the distance around the circle. So in other shapes, we call that the perimeter. But for a circle, it's referred to as the circumference. We're going to use a formula. So a formula means we use the same over and over and over again. So it has a Greek letter here, and this symbol is referred to as pi, spelled P-I. And we'll be multiplying that times the diameter of the circle. So the C stands for circumference, the D stands for diameter of that circle, and this symbol is referred to as pi, and we will use 3.14. The reason it doesn't say equals and it has that, it means it's approximately 3.14. Pi actually never ends. And so we round it, and in this case, we're rounding it to the nearest hundredth to use. So we're going to find the circumference of this circle. I'm going to write down my formula. C is equal to pi times diameter. For pi, we're going to use 3.14. We're going to multiply that by the diameter. Remember, the diameter is the distance across the circle. So in this case, it would be 10. When we multiply that, that'll be 31.4. Since it's a distance, it will be centimeters, not centimeters squared. That would be area. And remember, you can use a calculator. Even on your assignment today, if it doesn't have the calculator, which I think it will, on the screen, then you can use your own calculator. Okay, let's practice a few more. So again, we're finding the circumference. So I'm going to use that same formula again. C is equal to pi times diameter. Pi, we're always going to use that 3.14. The diameter of this circle is 14. It goes all the way across. Okay, if you want to use your calculator and punch that in. In your assignment today, they are not going to have you round it, so I'm going to leave it in that that full number and put my label of inches on. Okay, let's do one more. Again, we're finding the circumference. I'm going to use that same formula. C is equal to pi times diameter. For pi, we'll still use 3.14, and the diameter is 13. Go ahead and punch that into your calculator. Again, we're not going to round anything. And go ahead and put your label, which in this case is inches. Okay, when you're ready to start your assignment today, you'll be looking for lesson 4, circumference. And make sure you have your calculator handy if there's not one on the screen.